Welcome to English Talks Podcast. Learn easy English with real life topics. Today, we talk about Iran, but not through politics, not through governments, not through ideology. We talk through people, through emotions, through lived experience. We ask a simple question, but the answer is not simple at all. Why are people protesting in Iran? To understand this, we must understand what people believe has been taken from them. Many Iranians say they are not fighting for luxury. They are not fighting for power. They are not fighting for revenge. They are fighting for something basic, something natural, something human, freedom, dignity, and the right to live without fear. For many years, life in Iran has felt narrow. Not because people lack talent, not because they lack dreams, but because the space to live freely kept getting smaller. People learned very early that words have consequences. A sentence, a post, a joke, a question. Anything could become dangerous, so people adapted. They learned silence. They learned caution. They learned how to hide parts of themselves. This kind of life does not break suddenly. It breaks slowly, day by day, year by year, until one day people realize they are no longer living. They are only surviving. Many Iranians describe this feeling as emotional exhaustion, being careful all the time, thinking before every word, watching every move. Fear becomes normal. Anxiety becomes routine. And yet, even fear has limits. There comes a moment when staying silent hurts more than speaking out. For many people, that moment has already passed. Protesters often say, freedom is not a gift from the government. Freedom is a natural human right. They believe rights do not need permission. They believe dignity should not be conditional. This belief is powerful, because once people believe their rights are natural, they stop asking. They start demanding. At first, many protests were quiet. People walked. People stood together. People held signs. People spoke peacefully. Their message was not extreme. They said, "We want a normal life. A life where you are not afraid to be yourself. A life where your voice matters. A life where the future feels possible." But these peaceful voices were often met with force. Security forces appeared. Batons, tear gas, bullets. People were beaten. People were arrested. People were taken away. And many never came back. This is where everything changed. Because when people are killed for asking for basic rights, the protest becomes something deeper. It becomes a moral question. Why would someone risk their life to stand in the street? The answer many Iranians give is not about anger. It is about responsibility. They say, we are doing this for the next generation. For children who should not grow up afraid. For teenagers who should not learn silence. For young people who deserve hope. Many parents say, Abi, if we stay silent now, our children will pay the price later. This belief gives people courage. It gives meaning to sacrifice. And the sacrifices have been real. Many protesters have been killed. Not in war, not on a battlefield, but in streets, in cities, in their own country. Each death is a story. A student with dreams. A worker with responsibilities. A young woman with plans. A young man with hope. These are not numbers. They are lives. Families grieve. Mothers wait. Fathers ask questions that have no answers. Grief becomes collective, and grief changes people. It turns sadness into determination, pain into resistance, loss into purpose. This is why protests continue even after violence, because once blood is spilled, silence becomes impossible. Many Iranians openly say they do not want the Islamic Republic system. This is not said lightly. It comes after years of disappointment, after broken trust, after repeated repression. Many believe the system no longer represents them, no longer protects them, no longer listens. This rejection did not happen overnight. It grew slowly. Every protest ignored, every voice silenced, every promise broken, until trust disappeared completely. Economic pressure adds to this anger. Inflation makes survival harder. Food becomes expensive. Rent becomes impossible. Savings lose value. Young people study hard but see no future. They graduate but cannot build a life. But many say the deepest pain is not money. It is humiliation. It is being treated like a child, like a threat, like a problem, not like a citizen. This emotional pressure builds quietly, and when it finally explodes, it looks sudden from the outside, but inside it has been growing for years. Iran is one of the oldest civilizations in the world. Its history is rich, its culture is deep, its identity is strong. Poetry, art, philosophy, wisdom. For centuries, Iranians have spoken about justice, truth, and human dignity. This cultural memory still lives, and it makes oppression harder to accept. Many Iranians say, this is not who we are. They feel their history does not match their reality. They believe their culture values freedom more than control. So when they protest, they are not rejecting Iran. They are protecting it. They are defending the idea that Iran belongs to its people. Not to fear, not to force, not to silence. The protests have created deep divisions. Some people fear chaos. Some fear instability. Some fear the unknown. These fears are real, but many protesters say, we already live in fear. What do we have left to lose? This question explains a lot. When people feel they have already lost dignity, fear loses its power. The government often speaks about order and security, but many people feel this order costs too much. It costs lives. It costs freedom. It costs humanity. This creates a deep internal conflict inside society. Families argue. Friends disagree. Communities are divided. But underneath these disagreements, there is shared pain and shared exhaustion. Understanding these protests requires empathy. It requires listening without judgment. It requires seeing people as humans, not threats. This is not a simple story. There are no easy solutions. There are no clean endings. But one truth remains clear. People in Iran are protesting because they believe freedom is their natural right. They believe dignity is not negotiable. They believe silence is more dangerous than speaking. And they believe that even if they do not see change today, their courage may create a better tomorrow. For their children, for future generations, for a life worth living. Thanks for listening to English Talks Podcast. Listen again. Focus on the language, feel the meaning, and try to understand the world through real human stories.